Earlier this week, Minister of Social Development Paula Bennett released income details of 2 beneficiaries after they'd complained to the media about cutbacks to a training allowance. The move has been attacked by many people and agencies on numerous fronts. The Maritime Union of New Zealand has lent its voice to the condemnation, and their local spokesperson Victor Billot joins me now. Good evening, Victor.
Hello, how's it going?
Good. Now, why are you against Paula Bennett's release of these 2 women's incomes?
Well, the Maritime Union opinion on this is that basically it's a breach of privacy, but more importantly is what it says about anyone in this nation who's going to disagree with government policy, as everyone has a right to do. And as far as we're concerned, it doesn't matter if you're a business person, a politician, a worker or a beneficiary. You have a right to register your opinion without having someone divulge personal information about you.
Do you think she could be held legally responsible for this?
Well, there's a bit of toing and froing about the Privacy Act at the moment, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens, I guess, on the actual legal implications of it.
What's your take on the Labor spokesperson's action to the Privacy Commission?
Well, I think it's the job of the opposition to, do something like that, take it to the Privacy Commissioner, get an opinion. But I don't think we should let any of the politicians off the hook, really, because after all this is an issue about user pays education as well as privacy, and let's face it, both the major parties in this country support user pays education, so they're both a little bit to blame for what's going on, I think.
It's definitely a brash move. Have you ever heard of this happening before in Parliament?
Well, things like this happened back when Muldoon was in, which is a bit before our time, but he was known to kind of like go in boots and all and clobber people who got in his way. And I think, Paula Bennett has said that she's been a bit horrified about the kind of abuse that these women have sustained in talkback media and so forth. But let's face it, I mean, all those people are the people who voted for her, so she's obviously appalled by her own supporters, which is a bit of a funny position to be if you're a politician,
One of the women has accepted an apology from Bennett. Do you think it's escalated into a storm in a teacup?
Well, I mean, that's one of the women, but I think it goes a bit beyond the individuals in the case. It's like the principle of the thing. And I think we can't carry on, we don't want to go down that path of people who criticise the government, having a minister who can just tap into a computer and then spread out all their personal details to the nation as a political ploy. And that seems a bit kind of third world to me, banana republic,
What about from a freedom of speech perspective? Bennett has exercised her freedom of speech to reveal this information after these 2 women entered the public arena and talked to the media.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a good point, but I mean, the thing about it is that if you're a private citizen who's trying to discuss or raise an issue with the government, you're not in the same position of power as a minister who has all the resources, the media, the airtime, and if they want, they can flatten people, and we shouldn't allow that to happen. And it doesn't matter what context it's in. The people should not have to be afraid of the politicians. It should be the other way around, in fact.
What would you say to taxpayers who feel that they are in effect paying the benefits of these 2 women in question, or that are concerned? So in a way they have a right to know.
Yeah, well, this kind of troubles me a bit because I'm a taxpayer, and I don't think just because I contribute taxes that it gives me a right to kind of, find out things about people's private information. I mean, let's face it, the situation is if you're on a benefit in this country, you're not doing nothing wrong. It's the law. You're entitled to that. So I don't think anyone who's a beneficiary has any less right to privacy or registering their point of view than any other person. And if we go away from that, I think we're down to a very dangerous path if we ignore that.
From the Maritime Union, Victor Billot, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
After the break on 9 Local News, we find out what's turned an